And there is another breaking development tonight concerning the unrepentant terrorist Bill Ayers. Now, Hannity and Combs has in fact obtained a copy of this book. It is written by Bill Ayers and his wife Bernadine Dohrn in 1974. It's called Prairie Fire, The Politics of Revolutionary Anti-Imperialism. Now, this book proved very difficult to obtain. Even the New York City Public Library, one of the largest libraries in the world, could not provide us with a copy of this book. Now, the book reads like a manifesto of the Weather Underground, but the most shocking thing is on the dedication page. Mr. Ayers and his band of terrorists devote the book to, quote, all political prisoners in the U.S., and the book then lists about 100 or so names. Among the names they list, a U.S. political prisoner, Sirhan Sirhan. That's right. This college professor, who was just a guy from the neighborhood, who never meant to hurt anybody, who bombed the Pentagon, the Capitol, New York City Police headquarters, dedicated his book to the man who assassinated Robert F. Kennedy. So how can the same Democrats who are making a million excuses for Ayers and Obama be okay with this? We continue now with Pat Goodell and Ann Coulter. Pat, I know you a long time. I don't think there's any bigger fan of Robert Kennedy than you. Now, he sat on boards with him. He wrote favorably about his book. He sat on the Woods Foundation, the Annenberg Foundation, the Annenberg Challenge. The guy's a respected professor now. He dedicates a book. He's not sorry about bombings. He stomps on the American flag, says guilty as hell, free as a bird. What a great country. How is this not a bigger issue for Democrats like yourself?
Well, for me, personally, Ayers is a real I'm shocked at this thing about Sirhan Sirhan. Robert Kennedy was my political hero, as he was many people's. This is the 40th year since his assassination. That changed America. Ayers is out there bombing people. I really don't understand what our problem is in denouncing him. And also, this, you know, when the mayor says of Chicago, oh, that was 40 years ago, well, that's when Robert Kennedy was killed. And this is a man endorsing. I'm sorry, I don't know why Obama has not denounced him.
Pat, I want to take it a step further here.
I wish they would, because you cannot defend the indefensible. This man tried to kill people.
Here's my question, Pat. He's on the verge of being elected president here, and
yes,
first of all, I don't believe. Let me be very blunt with our audience. I think that Barack Obama lied when he said he didn't know about WRIGHT. I think he lied when he first said, "Oh, he's just a guy that lives in my neighborhood." The association is extensive. I think it's also about his judgment. It's Ayers, it's WRIGHT, it's Flager, it's Resco, it's Khalid Rashidi, whatever his name, Rashid Khalidi. It's he goes to the Million Man March with FArrakhan. The most radical elements in society, and everyone wants to dismiss it. And I want to know why.
Well, look, I think that if this election had not been blown up over the financial crisis and the Bush administration, Mr. Paulson blowing it up, and the McCain campaign not stepping up to the plate, I think this would be a different election. It's not going to be.
But it's more than that.
There are a lot of issues to discuss. The fact is, these things would have mattered. The problem is we have an economy, and Sean, I agree with you. The fact is, all these things should have been explored.
Well, the other problem is,
just as McCain's association should have been. The fact of the matter is, we haven't.
McCain doesn't have associations.
Yeah, nobody has associations.
Ayers is too much
Let's
for
go
me.
to Ann. Ann, go ahead.
Ayers is too much for me.
The problem with this election is the only place you can find out facts like this is on Hannity and Combs or Hannity's America. Why is it that this book of Bill Ayers, this friend of the man who may be the next president in a matter of months, Hannity and Combs is the first one to get a copy of this book dedicated to Sirhan Sirhan? That is shocking. That is frightening.
Let me ask you a question. Pat, you're a strategist.
Yeah.
I don't think I got my full time.
You never do.
Finish your point.
You never do.
Finish your point. Finish your point.
Pat, I'm going to talk to you in just a second.
You're not going to let her finish her point?
I had a big one.
What else would you like to say?
I had a big one. I was going to save it. Okay, I was going to save it because it's in my next book. But in point of fact, I know Obama is going to say about this, oh, 74, that was so many years ago. No one seems to have noticed, also like no one noticed this until tonight, that he also dedicated Fugitive Days, his most recent book, to a whole list of cop killers.
This has nothing to do with Barack Obama.
Everyone is a cop killer. It has nothing to do with Barack Obama.
Let someone else speak now.
Every single one of Obama's friends is a dangerous lunatic.
Every single one. He doesn't have any friends who are not lunatics and radicals.
Would you be in the same room with Jeremiah Wright, with William Ayers, with Khalidi, with the inspiration of the Black Panthers?
I'm in the same room as you.
Okay, that is funny, but I'm not about
Ann Coulter didn't blow up the Pentagon or the Capitol. She's not a terrorist.
Let me go to Pat Goodell. Pat, look, this is not Pat. This is not working for the McCain campaign. They rolled this stuff out during the primaries. It is now 5 days before an election. If for no other reason, if you want to win a campaign, you've run campaigns. Is this the way to do it?
No, look, let me tell you the issues. For instance, the issue they have not raised. If I were the McCain campaign, the Republican, what about the card check issue with the unions, which says that you can't have a secret ballot anymore union election? I'm surprised Republicans didn't make that an issue. Instead, this stuff, as much as I believe that there are questions here that aren't answered, 5 days before the election isn't enough to decide this when, in fact,
we've already talked about it. Let me ask you a question, Ann. Let me ask you a question, Al. William Timmons, Washington lobbyist who heads the McCain presidential transition team, was a lobbyist for Saddam Hussein. Why shouldn't that be a problem for John McCain?
John McCain was not having dinner with Saddam Hussein.
He picked as his transition head a lobbyist for Saddam Hussein.
With all due respect to Pat Goodell, whom I admire and trust on things, the card check issue, yes, that is an issue. With one association after another that is beyond the pale with Barack Obama, I feel like we are talking to the Germans after Hitler comes to power saying, oh, well, I didn't know. I had no idea he was going to be like this. With this guy, Americans ought to know. The media is covering up, except on this channel. Thank you, Sean Hannity.
What kind of judgment
this is shocking. One time after another. And coming out and saying that the Supreme Court, the Warren Court, was too conservative because they didn't order...
You're yelling at
redistribution.
Wealth redistribution. It's all out there in front of you.
Excuse me. What kind of judgment does it show that your transition team head was a lobbyist for Saddam Hussein?
Come on.
Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein. That's who he chooses.
You loved Saddam Hussein.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
Democratic senator said...
Hey, Alan,
Democratic Senator Rockefeller wanted Saddam Hussein back in power.
All right,
After we removed him, you wanted Saddam back in power. So don't act like you're against him.
My ears hurt. All right, thank you both very much.
We were supporting him.